Good morning, children. I think in the previous class you have watched the video The Selfish Giant, and now I am going to explain you the Selfish Giant part 1. It is a reading. So you know, all of you see the picture, the giant, how he is happily playing with the children. Okay, let us now see all the different characters. And this is an one act play written by Oscar Wilde, and he had written many short stories which are loved by all aged people. And he was born in the year 1854 on October 16th, and he was an Irish writer. And today, all the people in the world remember for his plays and epigrams. And he is well known for the novel The Picture of the Dorian Gray and the play The Importance of Being Honest, The Happy Prince, and other tales is a collection of children's stories. And here in this, the Selfish Gene part 1, he expressed the humanity. And you know, today we are in a crisis, corona crisis. So at that time, it is highly required for us to maintain the humanity. Okay, children, let us enjoy this a reading The Selfish Giant, part 1. Old giant and the giant refer to the same characters. The giant is a selfish character, whereas old giant is a changed and kind character. And old giant addresses the audience directly. The action plays out behind him as he describes it. Audience means the people who watch the play. And here the old giant himself addresses the gatherings, and the one-act play started. And see here he is the only character who stood on the dais. I once owned a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. So here who refers to I? I refers to the old giant, and he had a beautiful garden. We know in the garden we can see various kinds of flowers and trees bearing the fruits and flowers. And here in his garden he compared the flowers like stars. And there were how many trees were there? Peach. There are 12 peach trees. And you know, in the springtime, they broke into the flowers. And what kind of flowers? What color it is? It is pink and pearl. And they also bore rich fruit. Rich fruit means very delicious and very tasty to eat. The birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. So all the people like to listen the music or the twittering of the birds. Every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in my garden. But one day I came back. Here you see in the textbook, my is written in the block letters. So what do you understand from this? My refers to the selfish, and he says that that is his own garden, and he one day he came back. So where did he go all those days? He went to visit his friend. I had been to visit my friend the Cornish ogre and had stayed with him for 7 days, 7 years. After the 7 years were over, I had said all that I had to say, and I determined to return to my own castle. When I arrived, I saw children playing in my garden. So for 7 years, he lived with his friend. And what is his friend's name? His friend's name is Cornish ogre, and he stayed happily with his friend, and after 7 years he returned to his own castle. So when he returned, he observed that all many children are playing in the garden. So he could not bear when he noticed that many children were playing. What are you doing here? The children ran away. So the giant, he had an odd, how huge figure, and is very tall and stout. When he shouted, the children escaped from the play. My own garden is my own garden. Anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself. So from this sentence we understand that the giant is really selfish. When when he returned, he shouted at his children, and he said that that is his own garden is his own, and no, he did not like to allow anyone to play in the garden. The old giant points out the younger giant working on a wall, putting up a sign and then listening at the wall. So what did he do? He pointed at the younger giant, and he was working. Small giant, there are many giants, and small giant, he was working on the wall, and he asked him to build a high wall. And so I built a high wall all round and put up a notice board. Trespassers will be prosecuted. So, what do you understand? Trespassers will be prosecuted. The pedestrians or the strangers will not allow into the garden. So, children, we find at different places different sort of notices. No parking, be aware of dogs, switch off your mobiles, go on a line, and speak in English, keep neat, everything. Don't smoke, smoking is injurious. So many notices we find at different places. So in this way, the giant also, he kept a notice. He kept a notice on the high wall. I heard the children whispering outside the wall on their way to school. So children, you all after returning school, you like to play in the garden or you like to play in the parks. So he also heard the old giant who heard silently when the children are returning from the school that they want to play. Here we find out different kinds of characters. Who are the children? Tall girl, short boy, square girl, graceful girl, round boy. These are all the children. Their appearances are different, but their thoughts are same. Tall girl, now we have nowhere to play. Short boy, we can play on the road. Square girl, but the road is very dusty. So among the children, they are gossiping to each other. Tall girl says to short boy, "Oh, no problem. We don't have anywhere to play. Let us play on the road." But square girl said, "The road is very dusty. It is not soft, and it is full of stones. We know how the road with small pebbles. We can't play on the roads." Round boy, I don't like it. Let us walk around the wall when our lessons are over. At least we can talk about the beautiful garden inside. How happy we were there. He is a very selfish giant. So the tall girl says that they were very happy when they played in the garden. They have swings, seesaw, and many games items, and they also like to climb the branches of the trees, but now there is no place to play, and the road is very dirty and full of stones. Round boy, he is very selfish giant. The giant opens a door in the wall and shouts at the children. So the small children, they are talking, standing near to the wall. They want to enter into the garden, they want to play, but this giant, he heard that the children want to play, but he shouted at once. He did not like, because after returning from his friend, he became very selfish. My own garden is my own garden. Anyone can understand that, and I will allow anybody to play in it but myself. So he said, he laughed. He shouted, no, that garden is his own garden, and he did not like to allow anybody to play in the garden. Old giant. Then the spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in my garden it was still winter. The birds did not come to sing, and the trees forgot to blossom. The people who were pleased best were the snow and the frost. So here in this unit, we can find out different kinds of figure of speech, metaphor, simile, personifications. Okay, next class I will explain you all this. Now, the old giant, he thought that spring only came all over the country. There are little blossoms and little birds are playing and leaves, good leaves. But in his garden, it was still winter. So when there is winter, no spring and no blossoms of flowers and no little birds enter into his garden. The trees forgot to blow to blossom. The forget generally we use the word forget to the persons. It is called as personification. But here the writer Oscar Wilde, he used the word forgot. The trees did not blossom because still the winter lies in his garden. The people who were pleased best were the snow and the frost. So in the winter season we find the snow and the frost. So they only stayed in his garden. Old James, snow and frost, spring has forgotten this garden. So now we can live here all the year round. So now who are very happy? Snow and frost. Both were very happy and spring did not enter into the garden. So they can stay all around the year in the garden. So they felt very happy. Who felt very happy? Snow and frost. Old Jane. The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. Then they invited the north wind to stay with them. When he came, he was wrapped in heavy furs. He rode all day about the garden and rejoiced in blowing the chimney pots over. So you know the snow was covered completely the entire garden. The entire garden is appearing like a white color cloak. Cloak means sweater or the overcoat is full of white, and it is appeared. He said that he painted the trees as a silver color. Generally, who paint? The painters paint. And here the writer compared the frost as a painter, and it paints entirely the trees into silver. And then also the invited north wind. Generally, we invite the friends or relatives on the occasions, birthdays, or any functions. So in the same way, they felt that it is very happiest place for them. So snow and frost also invited, to whom invited uh, the north wind to stay. So north wind also came there. He rode all day about the garden and rejoiced in blowing the chimney pots over here. See in this picture you can find out these are the chimney pots. So who had broken it? Who had broken it? The north wind. This is a delightful spot. We must ask the hail to come on a visit. So not only snow and frost and north wind. North wind thought that really it is very happiest place and comfortable place. So we can live here for many days. And so they invited the hail. Hail means, do you know, the small ice balls. So the old hail came. Every day for 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle. Rattled means a sort of sounds. And here the hailstone came and it made sound on the roof of the castle. Whose castle was it? It was the selfish James castle. Till he broke most of the slates. Slates, do you know? What are the slates? These are all these slates. In the roof we can find out now it is ceiling, but in the olden days in your grandpa's villages you can find out the slates, slated roof. And now he was dressed in grey and his breath was like ice. I sat at the window and looked out of my cold white garden. So who was in the castle? The giant was a selfish giant was in the castle. And he observed everything in his garden. He could not go outside. No children he allowed to play in the garden. Only he found north wind, snow, frost, and hailstones. And he looked very sadly through the window. The giant, I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming. I hope there will be a change in the weather. But the spring never came, nor the summer. The autumn have golden fruit to every garden, but to my garden she gave none. So here the giant and the old giant. The giant is not selfish. The old giant is selfish. And he could not understand why the spring season did not arrive to the garden. And next, coming to the character, another character who is the old giant. The old giant that autumn gave gold fruits everywhere in every garden, but in his garden the autumn did not arrive, and so he could not get any sort of fruits. He is too selfish. Who said these words? Autumn. So it was always winter here. So why was winter here? Because the giant was very selfish. So autumn did not like the nature of a selfish. So in the same way, children, if you are selfish, no one will love you. No one will like you. You should be kind-hearted, mercy, and sympathy towards the others. And north wind and the hail and the frost and the snow danced about through the trees. So who are danced? North wind, hail, frost and snow. All these danced in the garden. So who did not come? The autumn did not come. Okay, children, I think you understood the lesson, and you once read the lesson and write the meanings. I will give you